Y'all ain't ready for this? Y'all didn't ask for it, but we bringing it to your front door. Or should I say your speakers? Look, I made it.
When you're working too hard, but they called it to come up.
You are listening to JPM Uncut, the realest wedding podcast.
Hosted by the man himself.
If you don't know the voice,
Justin Porter.
And my wifey for life.
Wifey.
Let's get it started. You know what it is. Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of JPM Uncut, the realest wedding podcast that you didn't know you needed, but it's here. And I told y'all, one EP a week. We committing strong. We're going to talk about some real stuff. This is going to be a fun episode. So go ahead, sit back, get some popcorn. We're going to dive into it. But first, real quick, I have my second wedding of the year, January 12th. Let me tell you, if y'all listen to the first one this year, I told you that was the hardest wedding I have ever worked. I take it back. January 12th was the hardest wedding to date that I have ever worked in my wedding filmmaking career. And what I mean by hardest worked wedding is I don't mean that we did a ton of things that was just like over the top. I just mean physically, there was so many elements to the day that challenged us both creatively and resiliently. Like, we had to really push to figure out how we're going to get these things to work, how we're going to make everything happen without cutting corners and sacrificing quality. And one of the things that I knew going into this wedding was going to be difficult was the early access to the venue. The venue did not give us access until 1:15. So that automatically put a time constraint. Because if y'all know me, I show up about 10:30, 11 o'clock. We set up everything. Tripods are done, cameras out by the ceremony, all this good stuff. All that's behind me by 1 o'clock. I already got this stuff dialed in. We couldn't get there and set up until 1. So this put things into a whole different type of running gun. We still made it through. I was able to do some sick cocktail hour interviews. Again, I don't know if y'all listened to last week's EP, but if you haven't DM'd me your New Year's resolutions, your goals for the year, and I don't mean like, oh, I want to learn color grading. Like, I want to really know what you're trying to be passionate about this year. I want to hold you accountable, and I hope that y'all can hold me accountable. So, so last week I was able to do the cocktail hour interviews. We crushed it. When I tell you, I used the Rokanai 85 mil. I had it about T2. We had, I think, 6 stops of ND on there. Shot it, of course, with the great and the holy grail of cameras, the red V Raptor. It looked amazing. And so the only thing that I hated was that towards the end of my cocktail hour interviews, it got real dark. Like, the lighting, you could see the lighting change. It went from very bubbly to very moody and dramatic. And so I think next time we did fly with the Suray A200 buy. And so I will have a full review on that light. It's the inflatable, joint from Suray. Oh my goodness, best light that I think you could travel with for sure. But I'll do a full review on that on YouTube. But we flew with that, and I think next time what I'll do for cocktail hour is to try and incorporate this lighting. I want to really polish these cocktail hour interviews. This was super fun. The people that walked up, they got into it. They're laughing, and I mean, super bubbly. Like, it was exactly what I wanted cocktail hour interviews to be. We got all that energy, that personality. You had certain, women coming up with their champagne glasses or their wine, and it was just fun. It was real fun. So I am pushing the throttle this year. I told y'all last week I got 29 weddings this year. All 29 are going on my website. I'm not taking any excuses. I'm not saying, oh, we couldn't do this or I'm not doing that. There is zero excuses for me. I feel like creatively, I'm more creatively inspired than I've ever been. I feel like I can confidently say that I know what I'm doing when I show up to these weddings to do this reality TV style, where every bit of the last year and a half to 2 years, we've been really just experimenting and adding things and just hoping for the best and pulling and pushing, and then we dial in on something that we love. But now I can honestly say that I love the process. I love what we're doing, and I know the steps that it takes to get through a wedding day efficiently. So this year, all 29, they're going on the website. So that's my New Year's resolution, is to always go 150% without feeling like I'm drained. So if y'all haven't had a chance, real quick, pause this EP real fast, hop on Instagram, send me a DM, send me what your resolutions are. I got a couple people that did it. Shout out to Marquise Henderson. My boy sent me that like right out the gate. I was like, hey, you listened to the episode, didn't you? He was like, of course. So shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for the love and support. But yeah, so I got some fun stuff I want to talk about today. I wasn't supposed to record an episode today, and I told y'all that these episodes are going to be very spontaneous, but I will have one up every single week, okay? I'm committing to this just like I'm committing to executing at my weddings. I want to make sure that I just go in all chapters this year, 150%. This week was kind of inspired by my boy, Matt Johnson, okay? Let me just start off by saying I love it. I love the energy that he is bringing because one, before now, I thought I was only going to be the one to say the controversial stuff, but boy, Matt has been waking up and choosing violence. Like he been waking up saying some stuff that I was looking like, oh my God, Matthew. Like I was shocked when I would read it. But is he wrong? You know what I mean? Like, is he wrong for saying the things he's been saying? So we're gonna talk about some of these topics right now.
What they say?
What did they say?
Hold up. Read it again.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, wait.
They said that, babe.
Let's get into these controversial comments.
All right, y'all. So like I said, this is from Matt Johnson, my boy, who is Matt. He said, this is coming from today. He says, weddings are about people, right? Then why are you starting your wedding film with a drone shot? Boom, shots fired. Like right out the gate, he woke up and shots fired, right? Now, here's my thing. He's not wrong. I was reading the comments, and initially I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, Matt, that's a little harsh. You know what I mean? That's a strong statement to say. Like, I felt like I would be the one to eventually say it. Like, I've said things like I could care less about running through a field and chasing you in slow motion. Like, I've said these things, but I've never directly said, like, talk to the filmmakers themselves. So he says, then why are you starting your wedding film with a drone shot? And before I go through some of the comments, because I feel like it's fair to read some of the comments that it's kind of sparked up, because the conversations that are happening are amazing. And I see both ends of this, right? I see both sides. But my honest take, is that he's not wrong. Wedding films are, I'm gonna be honest, wedding films are templated for the ones that lack creativity. So if you're just out here and you're running and gunning and you're just going through the flow of the wedding day, I can predict exactly how your film's gonna be. You're gonna go to whatever music site you get your music from, and you're gonna download a sappy song. It's gonna be super orchestra or some, slow piano, because you're trying to force this cinematic feeling. You're forcing this emotion. The couple didn't even cry, but you want us to cry. Kind of weird. You're gonna open it up with your drone shot, about 5 or 6 drone shots, matter of fact. Then you're gonna show us this dress hanging from a tree. You're gonna see the sun shining through the trees. You're gonna see close-ups in 120 frames a second of the bride or some woman getting her makeup done. You're gonna see the girls look at each other and laugh, all giggly, pretend to pop the bottle of champagne, because God forbid that champagne gets on your camera. And it's just gonna keep repeating. I can go to your website, and if you feel triggered by this, I'm gonna be real. You are the one that I'm probably talking about. And this is why you feel so alarmed and triggered. But it's true. I could probably go to majority of the wedding filmmakers' websites and see the exact same template from filmmaker 1, filmmaker 2, and filmmaker 3. So what Matt's saying, I feel like he's just being honest about it, just the way that I would be. I feel like it's time that we start being honest about it, because we're all out here creating this art and everybody's calling it a story and a film, when, let's be real, most are just music videos. There was a comment that came out, shout out to my boy Ray Roman. He commented on one of my posts not too long ago, and he said, hey bro, I'm gonna bring you to one of my Latin weddings in Florida where they don't do speeches or vows. I immediately thought, I was like, for me, that wouldn't be a problem. Like, even if they didn't allow me to mic them up, I can still do so many things to get a story with just a shotgun mic, because I know that process. I know what it takes to go out and find a story as, what we would call a documentary filmmaker. But when he said that, I instantly thought, what would you do if you filmed a wedding and there was no vows, no first look, right, where there was no emotion and no speeches? your film would be a music video to the best Drake song you could find. Like, that's the facts. That's the facts. So what Matt's saying here is it's about the people. It's about the relationships. It's about the experience. Why are we plastering the first minute? I see some of these films that I review and I watch, and, you know, trust me, I may not comment, but I see it. I see what y'all doing. I will see about a minute worth of the film open up with nothing but detail shots. That entire first minute is a promo video for the for the venue. It does nothing for yes, the couple picked the venue and it's important to them. But in 15 years, they're not going to look back and go, man, I really want to see where we got married. They're really going to want to see when their mom said something to them, or these interactions that they share with people that they're starting to lose, because that's the reality of life. We're going to lose people. Dialogue is how you preserve that, not cute shots of the bride's dress. In fact, most brides are preserving their dresses to pass down. Like, they're going to get a great photo of this. A lot of us filmmakers, we are taking these weddings and we're filming the exact same thing that the photographer's shooting, and we're just adding it in 160 frames per second or 120 frames per second, and we're just slowing it down and making it a part of a montage. So I think the things that Matt's saying right now, honestly, it kind of motivates me a little bit, you know? Like, we had a post come out, and I think I talked about this in the first EP, and I feel like he's onto something, because truly, if you're trying to change what you're doing and you're trying to call yourself a storyteller inside the wedding space, but you're making music videos, there's got to be a change. There's got to be a mental click at some point where you go, okay, this isn't it. I need to figure out how to really take this to the storytelling aspects. If you show up to your weddings and the only dialogue you're going to record, and I'm talking to you specifically because I know you're probably listening to this and you're like, man, he's just calling us out. Yes, I'm calling you out, because if you show up and you put the mic on the bride and the groom about an hour before the ceremony and you immediately take it off and then you only film the toast, I promise you, at some point, and I hope it's soon, your bookings will slow down. Couples are going to start wanting more, and those that are refusing to do it are going to be forced out of the wedding space. Go shoot music videos. Go do, real estate videos. Go do things that don't require dialogue, because this film that you're creating for these couples requires dialogue. Most of you are unwilling or unable to go get that dialogue. And if this is you, it's going to hurt a little bit, but just stop now. Go shoot music videos. So this is my take. I think Matt is right. I think what he's doing, and being someone that's at the top, that we all looked up to. I looked up to him in the very beginning of my career. I followed all of his steps. I learned everything that I learned about weddings from Matt. And I think for him to be able to now call the industry out in a way where it's like, look, guys, we've been doing it the same way for so long, but it should be about the couple, their interactions, and the engagement that they're sharing with their friends and family. I just, without being the biggest naysayer, I really think the issue is the formula that we have all been taught. Luckily for you, this is a great way to just segue, but luckily for you, if you really want to change from that formula and you really want to take things to a different place, there's only one place out there right now that is actually showing you how to shoot weddings like movies, like stories, how to be a storyteller, how to direct and motivate scenes, how to engage and interact with the families, their friends. There's only one place for that, and that is the JPM Live Academy. Inside of my academy, I rip the Band-Aid off of a lot of the things that you're seeing, and a lot of the things like what Matt posted about and what I always talk about. I show you how to create films that every single time will be authentically different, because each couple is different. Every one of the films that you will create after being a member in our academy will be crafted in a way where okay, this is different. This is them. That's my 2 cents, y'all. I think what Matt's doing is great. I think it's brilliant. I think he deserves a lot more recognition, because there's not a lot of people in the wedding space with platforms. I'll say that again. There's not a lot of people in the wedding space with platforms, meaning of following, people who actively follow. There's not a lot of us who are willing to just state the facts. And the fact is, if you're out there shooting weddings and opening with drone shots and slow motion montages and everything's just sweet and sappy, and you're not really trying to craft a story that's authentic to the couple, and trust me, you're not crafting a story that's authentic to the couple until you get to know the couple and you conduct interviews to get that story. That is crafting a story. Everything else is just hoping for the best, because 9 times out of 10, that never happens. So if you are serious, I promise you, if you are serious about changing the way you film weddings, there's only one place to do it. That is the JPM Live Academy. I appreciate y'all for listening. That's it. I'm out. Peace. You've been listening to JPM Uncut, and if you're serious about wanting to take your wedding films to the next level, I invite you to become a member of the JPM Live Academy. As an Academy member, you'll become a part of a community that's designed to break you out of the conventional slow motion wedding film formula. We host live interactive workshops and weekly group mentor calls built on open discussion. Become a member today and use the code UNCUT for 25% off your first 2 months. See you inside.